Oh. I shouldn't have did that. Chat disconnected. Oh, man. This is... Hold on, y'all. This sucks. Guys, hotel Wi-Fi. I had to go to the phones. Hold on. Can y'all... y'all probably can't. Preferred network. It went out. Hold on. Oh. and knocked it off over here, I think. Oh, man. Wait. Okay, it says successfully connected. Can y'all still see me over here? Your connection is unstable. What's up with this hotel Wi-Fi? Y'all see me? Oh, man. Still spinning. Okay. I'm gonna have to end it. It's frozen. Okay. Gonna restart. Try Facebook. Yeah. Trina. It's... Hold on. I gotta switch this Wi-Fi for here too. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know why the hotel Wi-Fi acting up. Hold on. I'm just connecting it to my phone. I had them both connected to the hotel Wi-Fi last night, but it started acting up, so I just turned my phone's Wi-Fi back on. Now I'm connecting my laptop back to my phone, and I can start YouTube over. Hold on. Still unable. Well, okay, hold on. Let's hit exit. Yes, leave. Let's start it over. How much iPhone? Hold on, y'all. Hold on, don't go nowhere. It's gonna pause. Hold on. Okay. I know, right? It doesn't. Apparently. It's still trying to connect to my... Hold on, let me just cut it off. Okay. Cut it back on. Connect to my phone. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm working out all these technical difficulties. I don't know for sure if it's a dragon tree. And I just say it sounds like a dragon to me. That's the only big fish that I know that can, well, not big fish, animal that I know that spits fire. At least that's what I know from watching movies. I've never seen a dragon. Neither have I seen Leviathan, right? But yeah, Leviathan is a water. It's two of them, two big creatures. Behemoth, which is a land animal, and Leviathan, which is a water animal. So I guess you call it a big fish, right? Maybe a big fire-breathing dragonfish, maybe? I don't know. No, seriously. I don't know. I say it sounds like a dragon to me. It spits fire. But it's clearly a sea creature because it talks about how it heats up the ocean and stuff. So, and it scales, all that good stuff. Y'all, this is... What in the world? Let me just close all this out. I'm sorry, YouTube. They like, sis, what is you doing? Wi-Fi, what? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Oh, really? Now it... Okay. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. I know they're looking like, She should have just waited till she got back home. All right, go live. We back. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay. Is that it? That's still saying live stream. Hold on. New stream. Hold on, y'all. What's going on? I'm sorry. Yes. Go live. Thank you. Yes. Okay, y'all. Hold on. It went to the studio. What? Oh, because it's still saying, oh, wait. Connecting stream. Wait, can y'all see me back on YouTube? It just opened the stream back up. I don't know. And I'll just end this. I'm sorry, this is, hold on. Cancel, no, and I'm sorry. Let me figure out how to end this over here. Because it won't let me start a new stream. No. Let's make this. Create. Okay, so it is clearly, can I do this? End. No, see, it's going to delete it forever. I'm sorry, y'all. Just no. It doesn't have the end button. It has this live still. If I just, this about to be deleted. Edit. Y'all, I don't know. It's still buffering. Yeah, I'm trying to end this. This did this before. And then after just a few minutes, it just kind of ended. But it ended it on my end, but it's weird. It won't let me start another stream because it looks like the video is still playing, but it ended it. Closed captions. No. Stream held. I'm gonna fade this out. Give me a second. Doesn't support. No. What if I just log out? I wonder if I just log out. Sign out. I'm gonna just sign out. Let's sign back in. Let's see if that works. Okay. I gotta figure out why this does this. First IT tech question. Oh, standard first. What? First IT tech question. I'm lost, Tiffany. Let's see go live. I hope it ended it by me logging out. Clearly that didn't work. That did not work. Let me just do this. Maybe this will work. I'm gonna just hit delete forever. Yeah, okay. I understand, yes. Delete forever. While you wait, you can leave the screen. But can I start another stream? That is the question. I got one more chapter to read, y'all. Hold on. Okay. Maybe it'll let me start another stream while it's deleting. No. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. Live streaming, webcam. There we go. Okay. Sheesh, why I have to delete it to get it to work? Clearly, it has to be operator error, right? I should know how to do this by now. Okay. We back. Let it. Okay. Okay. Okay, I see the camera on and the time is rolling. Okay, check YouTube, y'all. Can y'all see it? You don't see it on YouTube? It's back up. It's a new stream. You should have got a notification. Okay, I see somebody came in. Okay. All right. Jeez. Sorry, y'all. The hotel internet is acting up and just cut everything off. And while we were going, trying to figure out how to start the new video, because since the old one went in, it wouldn't let me start the new one. So that's what took us so long. Sorry. Didn't abandon you. Okay. So let's go ahead back over here to Job and read this last chapter since we got all this worked out. Okay, Job chapter 42. Job responds to Yahuwah. Then Job replied to Yahuwah, I know that you can do anything and no one can stop you. You ask, who is this that questions my wisdom with such ignorance? It is I, and I was talking about the things I knew nothing about, things far too wonderful for me. You said, listen and I will speak. I have some questions for you and you must answer them. I had only heard about you before, but now I have seen you with my own eyes. I take back everything I said and I sit in dust and ashes to show my repentance. Conclusion. Yahuwah blesses Job. After Yahuwah had finished speaking to Job, he said to Eliphaz the Temanite, I am angry with you and your two friends, for you have not spoken accurately about me, as my servant Job has. So take 7 bulls and 7 rams and go to my servant Job and offer a burnt offering for yourselves. My servant Job will pray for you, and I will accept his prayer on your behalf. I will not treat you as you deserve, for you have not spoken accurately about me, as my servant Job has. So Eliphaz the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite did as Yahuwah commanded them, and Yahuwah accepted Job's prayer. When Job prayed for his friends, Yahuwah restored his fortunes. In fact, Yahuwah gave him twice as much as before. Then all his brothers, sisters, and former friends came and feasted with him in his home, and they consoled him and comforted him because of all the trials Yahuwah had brought against him, and each of them brought him a gift of money and a gold ring. So Yahuwah blessed Job in the second half of his life, even more than he did in the beginning. For now he had 14,000 sheep, 6,000 camels, 1,000 teams of oxen, and 1,000 female donkeys. He also gave Job 7 more sons and 3 more daughters. He named his first daughter Jemimah, the second Keziah, and the third Karen Hapuk. In all the land, no women were as lovely as the daughters of Job, and their father put them into his will along with their brothers. Job lived 140 years after that, living to see 4 generations of his children and grandchildren. Then he died, an old man, having lived a long, full life. All right, beautiful people. So that is the end of our reading for today and the end of the book of Job. Last 3 chapters, chapter 40, 41, and 42. All right. So let's pick up here where we left off at yesterday in Caesar's Messiah, chapter 15, on page 363. I'll go back this one paragraph. Maybe I should do 2. Okay, let's go back here on the previous page. Christianity is the Sakari movement of Judas the Galilean, deliberately blurred and transformed. The Romans transformed the history of the cult of the militant Maccabean Messiah into the history of Christianity. Robert Eisman has pointed out a number of overlaps between the Sakari movement and Christianity during the second half of the 1st century CE. Both were messianic movements, both were in Judea during the same time, and both have engaged in missionary activities. More important is Eisman's claim that the word Sakarios itself may be a quasi-anagram and a possible pejorative in Greek for the word Christian. That's reference 226. If true, this wordplay, creating Christian from Sakari, would fit perfectly into the pattern of creating Christianity out of the Sakari movement. Josephus describes numerous Eleazars in the Wars of the Jews. I believe that attributes of these Eleazars, together with those of Lazarus in the New Testament, are intended to reveal the identity of the true Messiah. What is telling is that these Eleazars are so often described as the leaders of a messianic movement. Josephus begins this by stating that an Eleazar was responsible for the true beginning of the war. Quote, at the same time, Eleazar, the son of Ananias, the high priest, a very bold youth who was at that time governor of the temple, persuaded those that officiated in the divine service to receive no gift or service for any foreigner. And this was the true beginning of our war with the Romans, for they rejected the sacrifice of Caesar on this account. End quote. And that's reference 227. In the passage below, notice that another Eleazar is described as the nephew of Simon the tyrant, who I have identified as the Apostle Simon. This supports the contention that a messianic family led the Jewish rebellion, and the identities of those family members were transformed into the apostles and Jesus. Quote, of the seditious, those that had fought bravely in the former battles did the like now, as besides them did Eleazar, the brother's son of Simon the tyrant. But when Titus perceived that his endeavors to spare a foreign temple turned to the damage of his soldiers and then be killed, he gave order to set the gates on fire. End quote. And that's reference 228. Josephus identifies a Simon and a Judas as the sons of Jairus. And Eleazar is also identified as a member of this family. The Eleazar who is a tyrant at Masada and a descendant of Judas the Galilean, and is also identified as a relative of Simon the tyrant, the apostle Simon above. A few there were of them who privately escaped to Masada, among whom was Eleazar the son of Jairus, who was of kin to Menahem and acted the part of a tyrant at Masada afterward. End quote. Reference 229. This establishes the family of Jairus as a part of the family of Judas the Galilean, the true messianic family, and connects the apostles to the family of Judas the Galilean, which connects the apostles to the family of Jairus that is found in the New Testament. The hopelessly cross-connected genealogy described above is deliberately difficult to follow. The overly complex genealogies in the New Testament and Josephus serve both to prevent the uneducated from understanding them as parodies of the Jews and to expand the general confusion over who the real members of the Maccabean family were, the confusion into which Christianity was inserted. While Josephus has purposely made the genealogies difficult to follow, they were constructed to reveal to the alert reader that the characters of the New Testament and Wars of the Jews are not only the same individuals, but all are members of the same family. And that's where we paused at yesterday, so this is where our reading really begins today. All of the Eleazars in the works of Josephus and all of the Lazaruses in the New Testament are lampoons of the real Eleazar, who was anointed as the Messiah by the Jewish rebels who defended Jerusalem in 70 CE. The Eleazar who is a son of Jairus and a descendant of Judas the Galilean, and who was the leader of the Sicarii at Masada, is also part of this construct. Supporting this is the fact that in the New Testament, the daughter of someone also called Jairus, the ruler of a synagogue, is, like Lazarus, raised from the dead by Jesus. In the passage below, notice that Jesus brings with him only Simon, John, and James. As noted above, this apostle Simon is in fact the Jewish tyrant Simon, who is described in Josephus as both a son of Jairus and the brother of a John and James. The reader should appreciate just how small a circle we are dealing with here. It is a small circle because it is a single family. Knowing that the apostles Jesus brings with him to witness the resurrection of Jairus' daughter or her relatives help us to understand the real meaning of the passage. It is a lampoon of a belief in the resurrection of the dead, a belief held by the followers of the Messianic family. It is possible that this lampoon was based on a real incident in which the Romans discovered members of the Messianic family hidden in the subterranean caverns beneath Jerusalem, and Titus restored a young woman to life. Notice that in the passage, Jesus instructs that the girl be given something to eat. Good advice if the cause of the child's illness is starvation. The daughter is another unnamed New Testament character. I suspect that Josephus intends for the informed reader to be able to guess her name. However, since Eleazar is the son of Jairus and his sisters are named Mary and Martha, this suggests that the resurrected daughter of Jairus would have been yet another Mary, that is to say, a rebellious female. Josephus and the New Testament created a running joke about the many starving Marys during the war. The reader will recall the parallels I analyzed in chapter 3 in which Josephus describes how famine pierced through Mary's very bowels, and that the Mary in the New Testament, who is Jesus' mother, was prophesied to one day to be pierced through. Welcome back, everybody who's having an issue bringing YouTube back on. But it was because of the hotel Wi-Fi and not, not the laptop. Hold on. Quote, "Then came one of the rulers of the synagogue, Jairus by name, and seeing him, he fell at his feet and besought him, saying, 'My little daughter is at the point of death. Come and lay your hands on her so that she may be made well and live.' And he allowed no one to follow him except Peter and James and John, the brother of James. And when he had entered, he said to them, 'Why do you make a tumult and weep? The child is not dead, but sleeping.' And they laughed at him. But he put them all outside and took the child's father and mother and those who were with them and went in where the child was. Taking her by the hand, he said to her, 'Talitha kumi,' which means, 'Little girl, I say to you, arise.' And immediately the girl got up and walked. She was 12 years of age, and they were immediately overcome with amazement. And he strictly charged them that no one should know this, and told them to give her something to eat." End quote. And that's found in Mark chapter 5, verses 22 through 23, and verses 37 through 43. The passage from Josephus that describes Eleazar's scourging and miraculous escape from crucifixion, which I analyze in chapter 6, is followed immediately in Wars of the Jews by Josephus's description of the siege at Masada. In that story, yet another Eleazar convinces the Sicarii defenders of Masada to commit suicide rather than risk being captured by the Romans. I regard Josephus's famous passage describing the mass suicide of the Jewish defenders as complete fiction. Josephus was not interested in recording history, but in creating effective propaganda. And this is why, though there certainly were Sicarii who were besieged by the Romans at Masada, I do not believe that they slew themselves. I believe Josephus invented Eleazar's speech exhorting the Jews to kill themselves to instill in the Jews and hoi polloi the belief that suicide is noble when someone is confronted with Roman force majeure. Noble suicides of Jewish rebels run throughout the works of Josephus, and it was hoped, no doubt, that they would counteract the courageous custom of the Jewish defenders who fought down to the last man and thus cost the imperial family more of its troops. Notice that, as with the crucifixion of Jesus and the destruction of the temple, it is the Jews, not the Romans, who are again responsible for the slaughter at Masada. Kirk, shalom, Perry, shalom. It is likewise for symbolic purposes that Josephus places the final Eleazar, the descendant of Judas the Galilean, in the final act of the Roman conquest of the Messianic movement. It makes the conclusion of his fictitious history the completion of one era and the beginning of another. That is, the end of Maccabean Judaism and the beginning of Christianity. With the death of this final Eleazar, Josephus is bringing an end to the Messianic family of Judas the Galilean and its Messianic movement, the fourth philosophy, or the Sicarii. Quote, "There was but one only stronghold that was still in rebellion. This fortress was called Masada. It was one Eleazar, a potent man, and the commander of these Sicarii that had seized upon it. He was a descendant from that Judas who had persuaded abundance of the Jews, as we have formerly related, not to submit to the taxation when Cyrenius was sent into Judea to make one." End quote. Reference 230. Just as Eleazar's death brings an end to his family and their philosophy, it also heralds the beginning of another family and another philosophy. Josephus concludes that his description of the Battle of Masada by claiming that somehow one group did survive the mass suicide. Quote, "So these people died with this intention, that they would not leave so much as one soul among them, all alive to be subject to the Romans. Yet was there an ancient woman and another who was of kin to Eleazar and superior to most women in prudence and learning, with 5 children who had concealed themselves in caverns underground and who had carried water thither for their drink and were hidden there when the rest were intent upon the slaughter of one another." End quote. And that's reference 231. As shown in the previous chapter, the date of the slaughter at Masada, the 15th of Nisan 73 CE, is meant to be understood as the ending of Christianity's 40 year of wandering, and thus the beginning of its dominion over the land of Israel and its replacement of Judaism. It is easy to see that within the symbolic landscape that Josephus has created, the 5 children mentioned in the passage above, who are kin to Eleazar, are to be understood as the founders of the Christian dynasty. Josephus, who had begun Wars of the Jews with a description of the beginning of a dynasty, the Maccabees, accordingly, Matthias armed himself together with his own family, which had 5 sons, and that's found in that's reference 232. Ends his work with the beginning of another dynasty that starts with a woman who was kin to Eleazar and 5 children. Their names are not given. I am confident, however, that within the Flavian court they would have been known as Mary, her son Jesus, and his 4 brothers. They are the new dynasty, ready to enter the promised land that has been given to them by God. Quote, "Is not this the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Mary, and his brethren James and Joseph and Simon and Judas?" End quote. That's reference 233. Though Josephus symbolically converted the Maccabee family to Christianity at Masada, the Messianic rebellions centering on that family apparently continue until the defeat of Simon Bar Kokhba in 135 CE. Bar Kokhba means son of the star. Simon was so nicknamed because of the star prophecy of Judaism that looks to a Messiah, the same prophecy that the New Testament claims for Jesus. On the coins minted by the Jewish rebels during their 132 through 135 CE revolt, only 2 individuals are celebrated. One coin is dedicated to Bar Kokhba, and its inscription reads, "Simeon, Prince of Israel." The other individual so commemorated is Eleazar. His coin reads, "Eleazar the priest," reference 234. The coins present the same what is that word? Dichotomy. I think it's dichotomy. Okay. The coins present the same dichotomy that exists in the New Testament and Wars of the Jews, that is, between a military leader named Simon and a spiritual one named Eleazar. Rome's struggle with Simon and Eleazar evidently continued even after the family's extinction at Masada. Since Jesus' ministry lampoons the Jews by drawing satiric parallels with Titus's campaign through Judea, it seems logical that there would also be a lampoon of the 12 apostles within the Wars of the Jews. In this way, the symmetry between the 2 works would be maintained. I assume that the lampoon would involve a technique similar to the identity switching used to transform the Jewish rebel leaders, Simon and John, into Christians. I discovered precisely such lampoons within Josephus's description of the assaults by the Romans on the Temple of Jerusalem. Within the passages, 12 Roman soldiers twice attempt to capture the wall that will lead to the temple. The passage that contains this complex lampoon begins with a speech by Titus calling for volunteers to assault the temple. One soldier named Sabinius accepts the challenge, and in a manner much like the devotio of Decius Mus in chapter 11, he volunteers to sacrifice his life in the effort. Quote, upon this speech of Titus, the rest of the multitude were affrighted at so great a danger, but there was one whose name was Sabinius, a soldier that served among the cohorts, and a Syrian by birth, who appeared to be of very great fortitude, both in the actions he had done and the courage of his soul he had shown. End quote. Wars of the Jews 6:1-54. Sabinius was joined by 11 others, and the 12 make their assault, which fails when Sabinius trips over a large stone, reminiscent of the large stone that entombed Jesus. Notice that Sabinius was possessed by a divine fury. Quote, there followed him 11 others, and no more that resolved to imitate his bravery. But still, this was a principal person of them all. This was the principal person of them all, and went first, as excited by a divine fury. And now one cannot but complain here of fortune as still envious at virtue and always hindering the performance of glorious achievements. This was the case of the man before us when he had just obtained his purpose, for he then stumbled at a certain large stone and fell down upon it headlong with a very great noise. End quote. And that's reference 235. A second assault is made, and again Josephus refers to the number 12, though this time he adds to it. Quote, now 2 days afterward, 12 of those men that were on the forefront and kept watch upon the banks got together and called to them the standard bearer of the 5th Legion, and 2 others of a troop of horsemen, and 1 trumpeter. These went without noise about the 9th hour of the night through the ruins to the tower of Antonia, and when they had cut the throats of the first guards of the place as they were asleep, they got in possession of the wall. End quote. And that's reference 236. In my opinion, Josephus is using the temple as a symbol of Judaism, and the attempt to force 12 into it is a satiric description of the insertion of the apostles into the new Judaism. The point is that the temple will no longer be Jewish but Christian once the 12 force their way in. In the following segment, notice that getting into the temple would begin the Romans' entire conquest, a phrase reminiscent of completing the calamities of the Jews in the Son of Mary chapter. Quote, then did the seditious of both the bodies of the Jewish army, as well that belonging to John and that belonging to Simon, drive them away, and indeed were no way wanting as to the highest degree of force and alacrity. For they esteemed themselves entirely ruined if once the Romans got into the temple, as did the Romans look upon the same thing as the beginning of their entire conquest. So a terrible battle was fought at the entrance of the temple while the Romans were forcing their way in order to get possession of that temple. End quote. And that's reference 237. Josephus next makes reference to a confusion over the identity of the combatants, which takes place as this battle is fought at the temple door. The wordplay is quite interesting because it is, if this interpretation is correct, a spoof of the planned confusion of the identities used by the Romans to usher in Christianity. Quote, now during this struggle, the positions of men were undistinguished on both sides, and they fought at random, the men being intermixed with one another and confounded by reason of the narrowness of the place, while the noise that was made fell on the ear after an instant. And I'm sorry, let me just go back. That paragraph is one sentence. Okay. Now, during this struggle, the positions of the men were undistinguished on both sides, and they fought at random, the men being intermixed with one another and confounded by reason of the narrowness of the place, while the noise that was made fell on the ear after an indistinct manner, because it was so very loud. Great slaughter was now made on both sides, and the combatants trod upon the bodies and the armor of those that were dead, and dashed them to pieces. Accordingly, to which side soever the battle inclined, those that had the advantage exhorted one another to go on, as did those that were beaten make great lamentation. But still there was no room for flight, nor for pursuit, but disorderly revolutions and retreats, while the armies were intermixed with one another. But those that were in the first ranks were under the necessity of killing or being killed without any way for escaping. For those on both sides that came behind forced those before them to go on without leaving any space between the armies. End quote. And that's reference 238. Josephus then lists those Jews who most signalized themselves in a battle. Quote, now those that most signalized themselves and fought most zealously in this battle of the Jewish side were 1. Alexis and Gethius of John's party, and of Simon's party were Malachias and Judas the son of Myrto, and James the son of Sosas, the commander of the Idumeans, and of the Zealots 2 brethren, Simon and Judas the son of Jairus. End quote. And that's reference 239. Another assault is made, and again neither side can tell one from the other because the armies are intermixed. Confusion reigns, which did less harm to the Romans, who remembered their watchword. I believe that Josephus is again making a satirical point regarding the confusion of identities that enabled the Romans to create Christian apostles out of Jewish rebels. Let me see. Maybe we'll pause. Hold on. Maybe we'll pause after this. Okay. Quote, for the great confused noise that was made on both sides hindered them from distinguishing one another's voices, as did the darkness of the night hinder them from the like distinction by the sight, besides that blindness which arose otherwise, also from the passion and the fear they were in at the same moment, for which reason it was all one to the soldiers who it was they hold on. Y'all, these run on sentences. These are old references, but the sentences run on like a mug. Okay. For the great confused noise that was made on both sides hindered them from distinguishing one another's voices, as did the darkness of the night hinder them from the like distinction by the sight, besides that blindness which arose otherwise also from the passion and the fear they were in at the same time, for which reason it was all one to the soldiers who it was they struck at. However, this ignorance did less to harm the Romans than the Jews, because they were joined together under their shields and made their sallies more regularly than the others did, and each of them remembered their watchword, while the Jews were perpetually dispersed abroad and made their attacks and retreats at random. So did frequently seemed to one another to be enemies, for every one of them received those of their own men that came back in the dark as Romans, and made an assault upon them, so that more of them were wounded by their own men than by the enemy, till upon the coming of the day the nature of the flight was discerned by the eye afterward. This fight, which began at the 9th hour of the night, was not over till past the 5th hour of the day, and that in the same place where the battle began, neither party could say that they had made the other to retire, but both armies left the victory almost in uncertainty between them, wherein those that signalized themselves on the Roman side were a great many, but on the Jewish side, and of those that were with Simon, Judas the son of Myrto, and Simon the son of Joas, of the Idumeans, James and Simon, the latter of whom was the son of Chalthus, and James was the son of Sosas, of those that were with John, Galatheus, and Alexis, and of the Zealots, Simon the son of Jairus. End quote. And that's reference 240. My interpretation is that the entire sequence is a satiric way of describing how the authors of the New Testament, acting as agents of Rome by means of their false histories, the New Testament and the works of Josephus, transformed Jewish rebels into Christian apostles. The first point I want to make is that the two confusing passages in which Josephus describes those who signalize themselves are a puzzle. The reader who solves it will recognize that the list describes the 12 individuals who were fighting to preserve the temple. In other words, when the two lists of Jews who signalize themselves are combined and the duplications are canceled out, there are left 4 Simons, 2 Judases, John and James, as well as Alexis, Galtheus, Machias, and Sosas. 8 have the names of apostles, and 4 do not, for a total list of 12 individuals. Readers may go through this confusing process for themselves if they wish. Take the first list. Alexis and Galtheus of John's party, and of Simon's party were Malchias and Judas the son of Myrto, and James the son of Sosas, the commander of the Idumeans, and of the Zealots 2 brethren, Simon and Judas the sons of Jairus. Then added to the second, quote, of those that were with Simon, Judas the son of Myrto, and Simon the son of Josas of the Idumeans, James and Simon, the latter of whom was the son of Chalthus, and James was the son of Sosas, of those that were with John, Galtheus, and Alexis, and of the Zealots, Simon the son of Jairus. End quote. Removing the duplicates produces the following list of 12 individuals: Alexis, Galtheus, John the tyrant, Simon the tyrant, Malchus, Judas the son of Myrto, James the son of Sosas, Sosas the leader of the Idumeans, Simon the son of Jairus, Judas the son of Jairus, Simon the son of Josas, and Simon the son of Chalthus. Josephus then records that there was another battle, during which the 12 again signalized themselves. He also mentions the courage of another individual, and Eleazar or Lazarus. As I have shown above, Eleazar was the Jewish Messiah for whom Jesus was switched in the New Testament. Josephus's signalizing of the 12 and an Eleazar obviously supports this interpretation. Josephus is spoofing the Christian Messiah and his 12 apostles. I might use that for our title today. Quote, of the seditious, those that have fought bravely in the former battles did the like now, as besides them did Eleazar, the brother son of Simon the tyrant. But when Titus perceived that his endeavors to spare a foreign temple turned to the damage of his soldiers, he gave orders to set the gates on fire. End quote, and that's reference 241. In order to document the switching of Jewish rebels For Christian apostles, Josephus records another group of individuals. He presents the list of these individuals between the two lists, naming the 12 Jews who signalized themselves in battle. This new list names those Jews who deserted the Romans in the midst of the battle. Notice that we have another 5 sons of Matthias. Quote, of whom were the high priests Joseph and Jesus, and the sons of the high priest 3, whose father was Ishmael, who was beheaded in Cyrene, and 4 sons of Matthias, as also 1 son of the other Matthias. End quote, and that's reference 242. Joseph, Jesus, and Matthias are, of course, all names associated with Christianity. Matthias is not the only name of one of the authors of a gospel, which is the Gospel of Matthew, but the name of the disciple who replaced Judas as one of the 12 apostles. In addition to these 3, Josephus's list include 5 sons of Matthias, a Joseph, and a Jesus. The 5 sons of Matthias are meant to be understood as the 5 sons of the founder of the Maccabean dynasty, that is, Judas, Simon, John, Eleazar or Lazarus, and Jonathan. Of course, as Josephus relates it, these 5 sons of Matthias are quite different from the original 5 sons of Matthias in that they have defected to Caesar. However, the point of the satiric joke Josephus is making here is that these 5 sons of Matthias have the same names as the original 5 sons of Matthias. Thus, the 5 sons of Matthias who deserted to the Romans, and the 12 signalized Jewish rebels contain names that overlap. Let me read that again. I screwed that sentence all up. Thus, the 5 sons of Matthias who deserted to the Romans, and the 12 signalized Jewish rebels contain names. I'm still reading that wrong. Hold on. Here's why I'm messing up. There should be a comma here. Okay, let's try this again. Thus, the 5 sons of Matthias who deserted to the Romans, and the 12 signalized Jewish rebels contain names that overlap. The overlapping names are those of both apostles and the sons of Matthias Maccabee, Judas, Simon, John, and Eleazar. The list of those who deserted to the Roman side also contain both a Jesus and a Joseph, which are both names from Christianity. The Jewish side also contains of Malachias and The list of those who deserted to the Roman side also contain both a Jesus and a Joseph, which are both the names of Christianity. The Jewish side also contains a Malachias, a point I shall explore below. My interpretation of the passage is that during the confusion of the battle, the Jews who signalized themselves and who had the same names are transformed into the sons of Matthias who desert to the Romans. Just as Jesus had been transformed into Titus, the leaders of the Jewish rebellion are turned into 12 turncoats. It's another example of the name switching technique that was used to create the apostles Simon and John. The complex confusion about identity is a spoof on how the Romans created the apostles and inserted them into the temple, Judaism, by transforming the history of the Maccabees into the history of Christianity. Quote, for the great confused noise that was made on both sides hindered them from distinguishing one another's voices, as did the darkness of the night hinder them from the distinction by the sight. However, this ignorance did less to harm the Romans than to the Jews, because each of them remembered their watchword, while the Jews did frequently seem to one another to be enemies, for every one of them received those of their own men that came back in the dark as Romans. end quote. That's reference 243. This interpretation is strengthened by Josephus' inclusion of a Malachias as one of the 12 Jews who signalized themselves. The name Malachi is Hebrew for my messenger and was a synonym for the prophet Elijah. This meaning comes from the book of Elijah, in which God states, "Behold, I send my messenger, Malachi, who shall prepare the way before me." Elijah, on parentheses, or Malachi. Elijah, Malachi, was believed by the Messianic Jews of the 1st century CE to be about to return to earth as a forerunner of the Messiah. And that's reference 244. The authors of the New Testament created John the Baptist to be Christianity's Elijah, that is, the messenger who heralded the Messiah's coming. Quote, "Why then do the scribes say that Elijah must come first?" Jesus answered and said to them, "Indeed, Elijah is coming first." End quote. That's Matthew chapter 17, verses 10 through 11. Like Elijah, John is said to have worn a leather girdle and a cloak of hair. Reference 245. Like Elijah, John also traveled along the banks of the Jordan near Jericho. Reference 246. The last of the books of the prophets is the book of Malachi. As scholars have long recognized, the authors of the Gospels use that book with its apocalyptic sayings of a messianic forerunner as the basis for John the Baptist's descriptions of a day of judgment. In the book of Malachi, it states, quote, "Behold, the day cometh, burning like a furnace, and all the proud, and they that do wickedly are stubble, and the day shall come that shall set them aflame, saith the Lord of hosts, and shall not leave them root and branch." End quote. Reference 247. The author of the Gospel of Matthew makes John the Baptist paraphrase Malachi. Quote, "The axe is already laid to the root of the tree, and every tree that bringeth not forth fruit is hewn and cast into the midst of the fire. And his fan is in his hand, and he shall winnow his threshing floor, and gather wheat into his garner, and the chaff he shall burn with unquenchable fire." End quote. However, John adds his own political perspective to Malachi, warning those who believe they have nothing to fear from the day of judgment because they are children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that is, the Jews, should be aware that their Jewishness does not make them safe. John states, with a play on words, God is able from these stones, Abanim, to raise up children, Banim, unto Abraham. John the Baptist thus shares with Jesus a vision of a coming apocalypse for the Jews. From my perspective, however, the more important point is that John is saying that God can create Jews at will, the same idea that Josephus is relating with the story of the Battle of the Temple, during which the positions of the men were undistinguished on both sides, and they fought at random, the men being intermixed with one another. Abanim and Banim continues the wordplay regarding sun and stone, that is, Ben and Eben, that exists in the New Testament and Wars of the Jews. We almost done, y'all. We literally got a couple more paragraphs, and we're done with this chapter. John the Baptist also paraphrases the book of Malachi when he states that though he, John, baptizes with water, there is one coming who is mightier and will baptize with fire. Quote, "And who may abide the day of his coming? Who can stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire." Reference 249. This prophecy, once again, when taken literally, came to pass in a manner that would be scornfully humorous to the residents of the Flavian court. That is, Titus did indeed baptize with fire. Quote, Quote, "They set fire to the houses whither the Jews had fled and burnt every soul in them." end quote. And that's reference 250. Malachias, my messenger, in Josephus's list of signalized Jews must be understood, like Elijah or John the Baptist, as the forerunner of a Messiah. Since a Jesus is also a character in the passage, the identity of the Messiah, he is coming before, seems obvious. The logic of the lampoon suggests that the Jesus on the Roman list switches himself with his forerunner at the same time that his apostles switch themselves with their Jewish namesakes. My analysis suggests that the Maccabees were inserted into Christianity in the 1st century CE. They were also extracted from Judaism at the same time. One needs to look into the book of Maccabees to read of its origin. Since the Romans inserted the Maccabees into Christianity, it is at least logical to wonder if they also removed them from Judaism, which was being reestablished at about the same time. As Eisman points out in James, the brother of Jesus, Rabbi Yohanan ben Zakkai is described in the Talmud as having worked to reestablish a former of Judaism after the 70 CE Holocaust. He worked at an academy at Yavne, established with the authorization of Rome. He is also claimed to have applied the star prophecy, the Messiah or world ruler prophecy, to Vespasian exactly as Josephus had done. These facts provide a basis for speculation about the extent to which Rome was also involved in the creation of rabbinical Judaism. And that, my beautiful people, is our reading for today. And that is the end of chapter 15. So remember earlier on, a few months back, I said I was really thinking about reading the book of Maccabees, right? It's four books, right? So I'm really thinking about adding it because I'm not sure how many of you have actually read through the book of Maccabees all the way. Y'all hear me talk about it a lot when we get to the book of Daniel, right? Because a lot of the stuff that Daniel prophesies, we find the fulfillment of it in Maccabees, and a lot of that with the abomination of desolation. All those things you can find in the very first chapter of the first book of Maccabees. So I'm still thinking if we're going to read it. We might, but we're about to start Psalms and Proverbs, and if we do read it, we'll go into it after we finish reading Proverbs, and then that might actually take us to the end of, matter of fact, I'm almost sure it'll take us to the end of 2021. So we might do it, and that'll really like complete year 3, right? I'll double check. That'll complete year 3, the 3rd time we have read through the books of the law and the prophets. Something else. But anyway, I'll get it together. All right, beautiful people. I'll put that up there. Y'all, it is October 16, 2021, Saturday, day 280 of year 3 of reading through the books of the law and prophets. We finish up the book of Job today, reading the last 3 chapters, Job 40, 41, and 42. We finish chapter 15 in Caesar's Messiah, pages 263 to 376, y'all. This reading went way faster than what I thought it would be. Y'all see how thick that is? This is what we got left. And we'll finish this in about 2 days. 2, 3 max. I thought about something too, y'all. The next book that we're reading, I downloaded to my I think it was that one, not the other one, because I got 2. Hold on. I think it's downloaded in my Kindle. Let's see. Library. Got it. Download it. Maybe I didn't. But I'm gonna check it. I think it's the one. Let's see. Shakespeare's. Maybe that was the other one. So maybe I can't put this up on Kindle because I thought about it. I was like, wait a minute, I think there was one. Nope. I'll look it up. It might be the other book because I can't find it in here. So it might not have been the book that we're going to read next, because I was about to say, if we get done and I'm still on vacation, because the book is at my house and I'm here, it arrived the day after we left, I could possibly start the next book, but reading it in Kindle, I got to double check it, but I'll let y'all know tomorrow. Yes, so shalom, shalom. Josiah, shalom, shalom. Christy, hey, girl, hey. All right, beautiful people. Let's do this blessing and go ahead and get out of here. I'm going to climb back in bed. I'm going to share some videos with some more videos. I'm putting together some stuff. I'm trying to be like a professional producer, putting together our little videos. It's not professional by any means. Y'all been here long enough. Y'all probably seen that, right? But I will share with y'all on YouTube some of our family shenanigans while we out here on vacation. I haven't shared with y'all the basketball game. I'm gonna post the basketball game for y'all. Between me and my husband, it was a 3-on-3 game. It was pretty fun. Let me pull this up. This Shema. And I'll post it. Hold on. I'm gonna have to call her right back. They're down the hall. Let me pull up this Shema so I can call her right back. If I can find anything. You enjoyed it. It was a very enjoyable video to watch. So let me tell you the one I'm trying to put together now. So we didn't fly. We drove. We took a road trip, right? We rented a 15-passenger van, the newer one. We got the one with the high top because being in a smaller vehicle with all these kids that got all this energy, they need some space to walk around. So we rented the high top one, right? Y'all ever watch The Office? It's like if I said, people here in America might know. I'm not sure over in the UK or whatever if y'all see it, but The Office with, what's his name? I forget his name. But anyway, the office that they work at is Dunder Mifflin. You know how they got the show going on and everybody working, doing their stuff, but then they do like these little, you kind of see it on a lot of the reality TV shows, right? So they got the day going on, then they pull people aside for the little individual interviews and stuff to kind of talk about their feelings on what's going on in the office or whatever. I'm trying to do that with the road trip, with what's going on in the van. Boy, it is hilarious, right? So we got like this little jump seat on the side, look like a plain jump seat. It's kind of like off to the side of the van. So that's the seat that we're using to record the office videos to get their perspective on this road trip and how they feel about it, right? So now that Elijah and Tara, my oldest son, and his family, they made it in last night. We picked them up. Well, we didn't pick. We were going to pick them up. We had them picked up, but they're gonna be riding around with us in a van. So it's gonna be quite hilarious, right? So everybody gonna have like this little interview, and throughout it, we're gonna have like just the different shenanigans happening inside the van, and then it's gonna cut to somebody's little interview on how they feel about all of this and all these people riding in the van with us, right? It's funny. It's absolutely hilarious. So I'm trying to put that together. I'm gonna share that with y'all. Well, my family is hilarious. So, but be looking for that. I'm gonna share the basketball game with YouTube today here shortly. I just got to download it to the laptop so y'all can see. Take y'all along with our family shenanigans, so you can see just how much energy we be talking about and the shenanigans my family be on, right? Okay. Remember, the blessing is found in Numbers chapter 6, verses 22 through 27. Nazarite vow is the first 21 verses of Numbers. Man or woman can take it. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, Yahuwah will kneel before us, presenting gifts, and will guard us with the hedge of protection. Yahuwah will illuminate the wholeness of his being towards us, bringing order, and he will provide us with love, sustenance, and friendship. Yahuwah will lift up the wholeness of his being and look upon us, and he will set in place all we need to be whole and complete. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. All right, beautiful people. Yes, it will produce memories for the future. It's like our living photo album, and that's what I really like about social media and some of the things. Although I'm not sure how long it's gonna be around. It's probably be around for a while, but when I do like a family web page or something that kind of, as long as the internet and electronics are around, it'll be there in the cloud somewhere. But I'm tracking everything because I want to put together like a photo album of family stuff and give to each child just different things that we want to pass down and make sure they remember. But I'm like, man, this is gonna be a thick book. We gotta find some way to kind of condense all of this stuff. So we figured the best way is to set up like a family website, right? And it'll have like a login to where they can log in to see, or have like a password to see some more private documents or whatever. But for our bigger extended family, like aunts and uncles and grandparents and stuff, they'll be able to go to the family website and just kind of see like pictures and the videos and, all the way up. So I think it'll be like a good little keepsake for them. It'll kind of, we still have like picture album, but sometimes, most pictures today that we got, they on our phone, they on social media or whatever. We still have like a billion picture albums and stuff. But for like the most recent pictures though, everything is online, right? So but I'm thinking about, just in case something crash, we need to have like our own server or something where it backs up, and even have like a portable hard drive, something that's not connected to the internet, where we back everything. So anything could happen, but at least we'll always have a backup, right? So, but anyway, I'm gonna share some of this stuff with y'all, some of our vacation shenanigans. All right, y'all, that's it. I love y'all. I see y'all back here tomorrow. I won't be too early tomorrow, right? I was extra early today by like 15 minutes. YouTube probably didn't see it. Facebook did. Getting a hold of the time change and stuff. Waking, oh my gosh, I'm about to be late. And anyway, y'all get it. All right, y'all. To the baby's sleep. I ain't gonna wake her up this morning. She just gonna see the video. Mom, you didn't wake me up to do your video. Says, no, I didn't. You need to get all the sleep you can get. All right, y'all. I love y'all. See y'all back here 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bruce. Uh-oh. I thought they ended Facebook. It didn't. Let me try it again.